Hey everyone, Scott here, and I have Strong as Death is Love, which is a collection of Robert Alter's translations of the Song of Songs, Ruth, Esther, Jonah, and Daniel. So before he released the entire canon of the Hebrew Scriptures in a complete translation, which is in a 3 volume hardcover with slipcase, he was releasing them in these smaller volumes like this, and they were available in hardcovers and paperbacks and the like. I know the Psalms had a volume. The 5 books of Moses was another volume. But yeah, I decided to pick this up even though I have the complete translation of his because I saw it at a half price books for $2 or $3, and I thought, I'll mark in this and I can take it on vacation. I was getting ready for a vacation when I found it, and I did. I took it with me, and it's just nice to have a portable volume. And these are all things that I really enjoy reading over and over again. These are more sort of narrative books from the Old Testament, stories that a lot of us know well. And yeah, I'm glad I picked it up and have enjoyed checking it out. The title, Strong as Death is Love, comes to us from Song of Songs, chapter 8, verse 6. Yes. And it comes from his specific translation here. Set me as a seal on your heart, as a seal on your arm, for strong as death is love, fierce as Sheol is jealousy. Its sparks are fiery sparks, a fearsome flame. And he notes, or I'm sorry, rather, I noted that most translations have something more like, love is as strong as death. And I do really love his style here. Strong as death is love. That is just a great line, well put, and it makes for a really great title to the book. We have this lovely artwork here too. This is Ruth and Boaz from the book of Ruth, and it tells us on the back cover, the painting is by Marc Chagall, 1960. I thought I'd just share a few things that I picked up on that I appreciated in his translation and notes within the Song of Songs. One of the things you find with Robert Alter is, besides the beauty of his translation, his notes too, besides being very informative and helpful, are sometimes also, oftentimes, very beautifully written. The style just of the notes is something else. So he has a note here. This is in chapter 2, verse 16, where it says, Our bed is verdant too. And he notes, Another pleasing ambiguity of the song is between inside and outside. She probably means to say that the bed on which they will enjoy love's pleasures is a forest floor, but she could be saying that an actual bed inside on which they lie partakes of the verdancy of the flourishing realm of the nature outside. The ambiguity continues with the cedar beams and evergreen rafters of the next line, which are either literal, because they are making love in the forest, or metaphorical, because the house is redolent of the green world outside. That is just a beautiful note, and a very interesting take on that. Elsewhere, we know here's something with his translation. We have in verse 5, Stay me up with raisin cakes, cushion me with quinces, for I am in a swoon of love. And I probably should have made sure I know how to pronounce that word before I did this. So if I have that wrong, feel free to have a laugh at my expense. But he notes, I am swoon of love. I noted the NRSV has faint with love. The literal sense of the Hebrew is lovesick, but that sounds too pathetic or adolescent in English. And I think that's a great note. I do think when I hear lovesick, I tend to think of, like, teenagers in love. The King James Version, sick of love, sounds like a blunder, or at least has become that for 21st century usage. Sick of love sounds like something those teenagers say after a breakup, right? I've had some times in my life I've been sick of love. That definitely does not come across in modern usage very well. So, yeah, swoon of love. That's a unique take on it, and definitely better than sick of love. I think the NRSV's Faint with Love works really well too. Let's see what else we find here. He noted here, this is like a very helpful kind of a background or cultural note, which is not really his sort of area, but you'll get some of that. This is where the woman is saying, "Let me rise and go around the town and the streets and in the square. Let me seek him I love so." And this is at night. And he notes the act, whether dreamed or real, is an expression of great daring on the part of the beloved, because it would be dangerous for a young woman to go wandering through the streets of the town in the dark of night. Compare to Ruth chapter 3, verse 12, where Boaz keeps Ruth from walking home at night. So, great little bit of background information. Oh, I think there was one more thing I wanted to look at in here. Yes, this is the one. And this is where he takes a really different view in the beginning of chapter 4 than most, if not maybe all, mainstream Bible translations. "Oh, you are fair, my friend, oh, you are fair. Your eyes are doves through the screen of your tresses." And it notes here, the Hebrew says merely "through your tresses," but the screen of, essentially implied, has been added for poetic legibility. A long interpretive tradition, going back to the Septuagint and embraced by modern scholars, understands the noun to mean veil. The blocks make a compelling philological argument against the construction on 3 grounds. And he goes on, the blocks also note that covering the beautiful young woman with a veil gives her an aura of modesty, or reflects an inclination to prudery that is not in keeping with the frank eroticism of the poem. So he's arguing that she's looking through the screen of her tresses, it's through her hair coming down across her face, not that she's actually wearing a veil. And that's very different and a very interesting interpretation that I would not be aware of if I hadn't seen it in Alter's work. Actually, I think there's something on the next page I wanted to share. Yes, okay, this is the last one I'll share, and this is another kind of cultural note. This is verse 2. "Your teeth like a flock of matched ewes that have come up from the washing, all of them alike, and none has lost its young." And he notes, the image, which may look incongruous to the modern eye, would probably have seemed natural to the ancient Hebrew pastoralists. The white plays against the black of the hair, to which a third color, the scarlet of the lips, will be added. In an era, millennia before dentistry, most people's teeth would be yellowed and gapped by early middle age, if not sooner. This, then, is an impressive feature of the beloved's beauty. Her teeth are perfectly white, like sheep coming out of the water, and every tooth is perfectly matched, with none missing, like the flocks of ewes in which none has lost its young. And that's really a helpful note, because otherwise, I know Mrs. TSB has some great teeth. It would never occur to me in writing a poem about her beauty to mention that with such detail, but we see why. That's because this would be so rare in that time. Mrs. TSB has some great dentists, so there you have it. Anyways, yeah, I really enjoy Alter's take on things. He offers some unique views, some unique translations. Is he always right? Probably not. I don't know. It's great to look at his translations and compare them with other translations and to get his perspective. But I don't present this as, okay, he's right, he knows what he's talking about. I do think he knows what he's talking about in a lot of cases, and it's well worth it to check out some of his translations, and you can get some of these used copies for very cheap, like I did. Highly recommend this one. Compare it with a more literal translation, and take what you can from his translation, from the notes. Enjoy it. And that, I'll say, it was very enjoyable reading the Song of Songs as he offered it. So anyways, if you have anything you'd like to share, please do so in the comments. If you found this helpful or entertaining, please give me a like. That helps the channel. And If you'd love to see more of my videos, I invite you to subscribe. As always, I thank you for watching. God bless, and we'll see you for the next one.